Hello everyone and welcome back to World of Warplanes. This time we'll be taking a look at the Tier 6 Soviet multi-role. It's the Yak-9. So, if you guys saw my review on the Yak-7, this will be a very similar situation. But we'll quick run through the statistics and the history of the plane, and then also how to set up the plane, and then we'll jump into one of the best battles I've ever had in World of Warplanes. So, yeah, let's get started. So if we jump over to the Yak-9, uh, it's the only Soviet non-premium multi-role at Tier 6, but yeah, here we go. It was developed in 1942 on the basis of the Yak-7, the most widely produced Soviet fighter. A total of 16,769 aircraft were built. Apparently it was very popular. So, yeah, 16,000, almost 17,000 aircraft. Yeah, I guess it's popular. But, let's take a look at the statistics of it real quick. I'm going to expand all these so you guys can look at them, and I can look at them as well. And then we're going to the upgrades. So the first thing you'll notice is you only get two guns. That's it, just two guns. One 50 cal and one 45. So, Wargaming says that you have accurate, long-range, large caliber armament. Well, the 50 cal is certainly not long range, and it's not large caliber either. You're looking at the range on it just being 1,700 feet, and that's it. Very bad, but it's pretty decent for a 50 cal. Usually 50 cals will actually be a little bit less, so it's not bad for a 50 cal. But yeah, that is only a 50 cal, which means that if you're going to want to be hitting with it, you're going to be very close. Otherwise, you get the option of a gigantic 45 millimeter boomstick right in the center of the nose, sitting right there. It's crazy. Um, and yeah, that's a nice bump up from the 37 that you get on the Yak 7. But that's where this line really does start to come into its own, right? Where you start getting those truly massive, massive large caliber armament, and that is the speciality of this line. So let's quick take a look at the statistics on the guns if you guys would like to see. But really, the only thing you should know about this 45 is it does a crap ton of damage, and it's got a super long firing range of 3,443 feet. That is crazy. You do have very, very long range reach on this 45, which I guess you would expect because it's such a big gun. But at the same time, you do have to realize that hitting at that distance is nearly impossible. Even if your gun is completely accurate, trying to predict where the enemy is going to be that far out is very, very difficult. Because as you can see, the rate of fire on this gun is only 30 rounds a minute. That means you're firing a single round every 2 seconds. Very, very slow firing. So you do have to realize that hitting planes at that range, just because you have that ability to hit at that range, absolutely does not mean you're going to be hitting at that range, right? And then I think above that, you could potentially get a little bit of damage, but at that point, you're just not accurate at all. But it says you can go to over 4,000 feet reach, which I've never been able to hit a plane that far out, but technically, potentially, I guess you could. But yeah, very low uh, rate of fire, but when it does hit, you're putting all that firepower that you would have had on a lot of guns into a single gun. So that's kind of the speciality of the plane, I guess. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Oh, one other thing, this gun does overheat very quickly, so I don't advise you to hold down the trigger. Rather, find a shot. Think like when you think you have a really solid chance of hitting a plane because of the exact position that they're at, pull the trigger, but don't hold down the trigger. and just kind of line up another shot and fire again. You'll be your gun will overheat less and you will hit more shots. So I definitely advise you doing that. It's got low survivability, often catches fire. It's literally on every single plane I ever talk about, so take it as you will. Good airspeed and good boost. It's alright airspeed, alright boost. Basically the same story as the Yak-9. Not great, not tragic either. It's just there. Good maneuverability in horizontal turns. Again, take that as you will. You have 10 seconds to turn 360 degrees. Definitely not the greatest. You have 120 degrees per second rate of roll. Also not very good. Your optimum airspeed 186 miles per hour. Not very good either. So you do have to keep that into consideration. You do have a pretty low stall speed of 87, but it's not super useful. But something to keep in mind. Effective in low altitude maneuvering combat. Well, you're not effective in any other altitude other than low because your altitude performance, your optimum altitude is 3,200 feet, which is not very high, and you won't be doing very much at that altitude above that. And you'll probably see that in the replay that I have. When you're going anything above that, you really do start acting super sluggish, and pointing your nose up to shoot at anything above that is usually a death sentence because you're going so slow. So you do need to keep it very low altitude, which is just another downside of the plane, right? So when we look through all these stats, the things you should realize is one, it's got a crazy good cannon in the front, but you have to aim it, and it fires very slowly, it overheats very quickly, and you really do have to keep that in mind while you're using it. You do have to make sure that that gun is aimed, loaded, ready to fire before you pull the trigger, because otherwise you're just going to have a bad time. Then also, it's got mediocre airspeed, not tragic, not great. You have mediocre maneuverability, not tragic, not great. You have altitude performance that sucks, so yeah. All in all, this is a below average performing plane in terms of its raw statistics, but the unique thing about the plane, and you're sacrificing a lot of your other stats to be able to mount a 45 millimeter cannon on your gun or on your plane. So that is the speciality of the plane, and I don't know if it's completely worth sacrificing everything that you have on this plane just for a 45. But when you do hit, you've hit, and it can be pretty fun. You're often one-shotting enemy planes that are the same tier as you, or even lower. Lower. Sometimes you'll one-shot higher tier planes, but you kind of have to have a critical hit. Hit them right in a very vulnerable spot to one-shot them. Otherwise, it just doesn't work very well. But anyway, let's jump to the service department and take a look at that. It's pretty standard. I didn't put any universal on. I didn't really see a point of it. But you can mount universal if you want. It's 3,200 for just the 50 cal, so it is kind of expensive, and I don't recommend it. The 45 is 13,500 just for a single gun. That's very pricey. Tier 6. So if you have the money for it, if you're willing to spend the money on it, then go ahead and put Universal on. But it is kind of expensive on this plane, and I don't really recommend it. You don't really need it. You're not really going to be doing that much criticals and fires with it. But if you want to have it, go ahead and put it on. Then I don't have a fire extinguisher. It's just standard. As for upgrades, the whole point of this line is that 45. So I recommend going down for the 45 first. It's unique to the Yak-9, so you're going to have to research it. The 37 is not the same one on the Yak-7, so you're going to have to research that one as well. After that, go ahead and research the airframe, just because it's cheaper than researching the engine. So then you do gun, airframe, engine, and you're done. Then you can move on to the Yak-9, the Yak-9U, rather. Uh, this engine does go on a multitude of other uh, fighters or in the Soviet tech tree, so you should have it researched already, but no promises. It depends on whether you've gone down other lines or not. The top engine, however, is kind of unique to the Yak-9U, or the Yak-9. It goes on the Yak-9U as well. The only other plane it goes on is the Yak-1M, so if you do have the Yak-1M fully upgraded, you'll have the top engine anyway, but if you don't, I would still go gun, airframe, engine. I think that would work very well. And then, of course, you research the next plane. I was running with no equipment, but if I was going to run with equipment, it'd be a pretty standard setup. You do improved reflector sight for improved accuracy. You want that 45 to not be missing as much as possible, because if it is missing at all, you're literally doing no damage to the enemy target. Then I would also recommend doing lightweight airframe 2 to increase your maneuverability, just to get that tragic 10, well, not tragic, but not very ideal 10 degrees per second maneuverability down just a little bit. And then also control surface adjustment too. So you have accuracy and then 2 maneuverability equipment modules. For paint scheme, you don't actually get a free one. As you can clearly see on my plane, I don't have a clear one. I don't have a free one. There's a couple decent ones. I kind of like this one. Kind of would probably be my favorite. There's a couple different ones. That one's kind of cool too. That one's all right. And that one's not really the one for me. You can also get this one as well. But yeah, those are the paint schemes. You know, if you want it, go for it. Can't really mount my beta sticker, which drives me crazy. Really does make me mad, but it is what it is. In my crew, well, I don't have a crew. My crew is in the Yak-9U currently. So let's go take a look at the Yak-9U's crew. Actually, I just got enough for the Marksman 2, so that's what we're gonna do. But for the Yak-9, you really want that 45 to be hitting as much as possible. So you really do want to have Marksman 1, Marksman 2. Then after that, you want to do maneuverability upgrades. So you do aerobatics expert. Come on, pop up. Anyway, aerobatics expert, aerodynamics expert, and then also, let me close out of this and see if it works now. You're not gonna pop up? No? No? None of your skills? I don't know which one it is, but I think there's one where if you shoot down a plane, it reduces your overheating gun, so it kind of cools it down for you. I think it's this one that I'm mousing over. I think it's like called Adrenaline Rush or something. But I don't know for sure. But I think that's what it does, and so that one might not be too bad on this plane either. Just so that if you're in a dogfight, and you overheated your gun to kill something, it would cool it down for you so you could get another shot in. But don't quote me on that. I don't actually know which one it is, but you just have to mouse over it. I think it's that one. Um, but yeah, that one would be pretty decent. I've never used it myself, so I can't say if it's really that worth it. But if you want to try something different, then maybe that one would be good for you. So just something to keep in mind. So Marksman 1, Marksman 2, Aerobatics Expert, Aerodynamics Expert, and Adrenaline Rush. It showed it for a second. See, it pops up Marksman 1 and Marksman 2, but why won't it do the other ones? I don't know. Sorry. I don't know why it won't pop up. Uh, but yeah, anyway, that is the Yak-9 for you. Um, that that 50 cal, you're really not gonna be wanting to get your 50 cal to hit. You really want it only if planes are on very low health. That's a nice gun to just finish things off. But for the most part, 95% of your shots should be trying to get this 45 to hit. But with that being said, I've got a really, really good replay for you guys coming right up. So stick around and onto the gameplay section. Welcome back, everyone, to the gameplay section. So here we are top tier, and this is what you want to see. You're top tier on this map, which is also really good because there's an airfield in the center. I don't exactly remember what the layout is because, well, we're watching a cool little cinematic. But something to keep in mind, don't hold down the trigger. You'll see me not holding on the trigger, and it keeps my gun from overheating much more often. So this is an interesting setup. We have two factories, two garrisons, and an airstrip. Well, I'm pretty sure it's the exact same layout as the uh, what was it, the Yak-9 review. So it's the same things apply. You don't actually get any ordnance on this plane, unlike the Yak-9. So going for the factory really is useless. The only factory I'd recommend going for is the enemy's factory to prolong it. But you know, there's usually quite a few planes over there. So unless you're very confident about soloing over there, be very careful. I wouldn't really mess with that. Instead, try to take this garrison because look how many bots are over here. There's a crap ton of bots over here. It's not really that useful to let your bots just get stuck here and never take the sector and just keep dying. So come over here, support your bots, then head to the center where you can have an extra respawn point. Well, we just splat the bow fighter. So as you can see, my gun is already fully at work. We got an A-26B human that's flying very low, but not too low. He's just kind of mid-altitude. So he's going to die, and you're going to see the 45 just wreck him. Once I get close enough, I'm going to try to get my 50 cal to fire as well, so I'm just going to hold down the trigger, and that allows me to kill him. It did work through his hit points fairly quickly, but because the gun overheats if you hold down the trigger, it did take me a little bit longer to take him down than it would in maybe a Mustang or something. But it still wasn't very bad. You can still take it out pretty quick. Looks like either Carter took this airstrip or our bots were actually halfway decent and took it on their own. In either case, we do have an airstrip now, which is nice. So now I can just sit in the center and derp everything. And of course, no one's even looking at me because I'm coming in late, which is sometimes kind of ideal. So if you don't go in there right away, no one's really looking at you, so you can just one-shot them. Because that's what this thing is all about, right? And of course, when you're not hitting, you're doing no damage. So that's where this plane can be super frustrating. If you don't have good marksmanship, it really does become quite frustrating. But when things work out well, you are doing really well. And that's where I guess a meme on this plane. I guess the meme really is on the Yak-9U. That's the true meme. But this plane is still really good. Now all the planes are not over the airstrip. We have allies charging the enemy outside of the airstrip, and they're just spawn camping them. So you know what? That sounds like fun, guys. Let me in on the fun. I want to spawn camp too. I know, hate on me all you want. But if I keep them locked in the spawn, they're not going to be able to take that factory. And that's really the main thing. I don't want them to have the factory. If they have the factory, well, and we don't have a factory, that's not a very good situation. So we're just going to spawn camp. Take them out as soon as they come in. Ooh, that was a massive shot. Didn't quite get the kill, but oh boy, basically got the kill. We got Yak-9 right there, so I guess he's going to be the next target. He's going head-on, kind of. See if we can line it up. Ooh, that's like a hit. That was a hit, and that was not a hit. Got the 50 cals to hit a couple times, but BF-109E just got smacked in the face. Almost dead, so just use our 50 cals to finish him off, and it's good enough for that. Let's try to do some flipping, and as you can see, the maneuverability isn't terrible. 10 seconds isn't horrible, but you're definitely not going to outspin everything. You do have to be very careful about your maneuverability. It's not bad. It's not bad, though. Maneuverability isn't tragic. You can definitely make 10 seconds of maneuverability work pretty well. So we have a Yak-9 coming in again. I could fire already, but I wanted to make sure I had a shot lined up. Didn't quite hit him, but there we go. We hit him, and he's dead. Just like that, just dead. 110E is running away. Where do you think you're going, buddy? Let's see if I can get a couple shots. I'm having a difficult time hitting him. It might be good to just leave him alone, which I do. I'm just like, forget it. I'm not going after him. There's a much more appetizing target right in front of my face, but the 45 doesn't hit, so that's where it can be super frustrating, even though the shot was literally right in his face. But that one does apparently hit, and that one kind of hits, not quite. It's probably just a 50 cal shot that hit him. There we go, 45 hit. So when you get those one shots, that's where this plane shines, right? I thought the 109E was going to come after me, but he decides to just completely ignore me. Uh, Big oversight on his part. We got my pilot back into the battle, and we just one shot him just because we can, really. Um, you got a MiG-3 inbound and a Yak-9. Whole bunch of planes. Spawn camping like crazy. I'm not staying on one target. As you can see, I'm just jumping from target to target, trying to find who's giving me the best shots, who's making it the easiest for me to kill them. That I thought I was going to kill him. That's why I started to move, but for some reason the shot just did not hit. And that's where this plane can be super frustrating, where you have shots lined up perfectly and it still just doesn't do any damage. But what can you do, really, honestly? There's only so much you can. And there we go. One shot the MiG-3 because we can't. Well, okay, we didn't one shot him, but you can see when we do hit, we take off a significant amount of hit points. Oh, I just got called a cheater, guys. Look at that. I'm a cheater. I'll raise my hand. I'm a cheater. He put LOL in there, so it's not like he's getting mad over it, but at least I don't think he's getting mad. He's just saying it casually, like jokingly. But hey, I'm a cheater. Hope you guys have the Slaughter Hack Pack downloaded. And no, that's not a real thing. That's just a joke, inside joke between JG52 and I. But anyway, I'm a cheater, just so you guys know. That's what the 45 can do to you. If you don't like getting called a cheater, maybe the 45 is not for you. But it is for the laughs and giggles, right? There's a Mustang. We took off a pretty significant amount, and there he goes. He's gone as well. We got Yak-1 down here. Oh, that's a hit. And that's another hit. He's gone. Out for the count. Squall line in 5 seconds. Let's see if we can take down another guy. So now it's squall line. Every kill is super significant, but at the same time, look at my hit points. If anybody cares the entire time to shoot me down, I'm going down, and I'm permanently going down. But nobody cares that I'm even here. They're just like, it's just Slaughter, He's just gonna do his job. Let's let him. There's no point in taking him out. So goodbye, MiG. You're going in a straight line. 109E's going in a straight line as well. And you don't always get these situations. Planes don't always just go straight in a line for you. But when they do, it is just hilarious. Oh, he's dead as well. Now we're getting shot. Now this is a dangerous situation. I don't want to get killed. But there, we took half of the guy's health off, and he's a tier 5 heavy fighter. And that's just the power of this plane. But you do need to realize that the only way I've been doing so well is I'm getting them as soon as they spawn, which means that they're still low altitude. If they're up high, I just really can't hit them. I really want to kill that guy, and I had shots lined up perfectly. It really did seem like the shots were lined up perfectly, but the gun just would not hit, and that's kind of the frustrating part of the plane. When you literally have them lined up and it just will not hit, it's very frustrating. But I am more maneuverable than that Mustang, so killing him is literally no issue, especially when he just goes in a straight line, because straight lines are the way to go, right, guys? Yak-1, oh boy. I did not kill him that time, but oh boy, he's dead. So Carter's over here with me, and they have 2 planes left. Not entirely sure where they are, but we just found a plane. He's down by the factory, so we're going to gun it toward the factory. And one other thing I want to mention this time, the only reason I've gotten such a good score is, number one, nobody's focused me. Because if any one of those planes had focused me, I'd be dead several times. I'm not even joking. None of the humans targeted me, none of the bots targeted me, and it's because of that that I was able to get this score. And also, it's a 5-sector layout with 2 factories, and so the amount of points that you need in order to win is very, very high. But nobody got the factory. So with just 3 sectors in play, it allows the game to prolong for quite a long time, and it allows me to pick up a decent score. I really asked Carter to not kill this guy. I said, go kill the bomber instead. I can't really kill the bomber. So he's going to go search for the bomber. I'm going to kill this GA, and we're going to see if we can take him out. Don't quite kill him, unfortunately. I really don't want anyone else to kill him, but I got to turn back around if I want to do this right. Um, so we do kill him, and I have to say thank you, Carter, to giving me that kill as well. It allowed me to get just that little bit more, a little bit better score. And, at this point, I'm pretty sure the last bomber is over the factory, and there's literally no more points until the battle's over. So he's going to live with his life. He did nothing the whole battle. See, if that enemy human bomber had done anything, the factories would have been his, and we probably still would not have been able to win. But all the stars aligned, everything worked out well. 26,500 personal points. Yes, please. Marseille medal, Ace, Winged Legend, McCampbell medal, Tip of the Spear, Kazabdub medal, Lords of the Sky, Raptor Duo, and Unstoppable. All the awards are mine, every single one of them. So if you guys want to see what all the descriptions were, just pause it at any time you can see. But we're going to jump to the post-battle results. 5,000 experience, 155,000 or 51,000 credits. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. 6,500 damage to aerial targets. Super great stuff. And also, I want to mention one other thing. Although I got a really nice score and lots of medals, lots of shiny, cool medals for my inventory, um, I actually did not get that much experience. 5,100 experience is definitely not great for a times 2. Especially when you start looking at. I had another battle right afterwards where I had 12,000 personal points, and I made more experience on my times 2 than I did with this plane. And it was a tier 6 plane as well. But it just goes to show that if you're not getting chevrons, if you're not uh, doing what Wargaming thinks you need to be doing with the plane, you're going to be getting mediocre experience. So I got crazy scoring game, low experience, something to keep in mind. Also, that battle, Carter actually had more chevrons than me, so he was on top. So, yay, he has another screenshot he can put on his wall and frame it. But yeah, anyway, with that being said, I am basically done. What do you guys think of the Yak-9? Is it that meme that everyone says it is? Is it fun? Or are all the negatives of the plane and the inaccuracy of the gun, well, not necessarily inaccuracy, but the high skill cap of the gun, uh, dissuading you from playing this plane? Please let me know all in the comment section below. I would love to read it, and I will catch you next time. JK, I actually had one more thing I wanted to talk about. We just reached 100 subscribers, and I said I was going to do something special for 100 subs. Um, I do have something in mind, but it's going to take me a little while to get it set up. It's going to be kind of a little bit lengthy. I'm thinking doing a tech tree showcase type thing. If you saw Quickie Baby's tech tree showcases where he goes through the entire line, talks about it, I would like to do something similar to that for 100 subscribers, but you guys know that I have a really crappy internet, so I can't actually live stream. So, instead, I'm gonna probably have to just link my reviews of the planes in the line in the description and talk about each plane statistically and just kind of run through each plane. I don't know if that would be super useful, but maybe I could give you guys generic pointers for the line, maybe tell you which planes to go for, which ones to avoid, and just put all that information in one tidy little package. I think that would be kind of cool. Alternatively, or additionally, I could even do some research on the lines and the planes in the line. And as I'm going through each plane, I could maybe talk about the history and the development of the planes in the line and how they were used in real life. I don't know if you guys would like to see that, but that's kind of what I was thinking for 100 subscribers. So please let me know what you guys think of that in the description. I'm going to give it a shot regardless, but do you want me to put the history in the same video, or just a history in a different video, or just no history whatsoever? Or would you prefer something else for a 100 subscriber special? Let me know all of that down in the description. Also, I did have a request for the BF-109E review, so that will be coming sometime soon. But I don't actually have the plane, and it was a times 5 weekend, so I didn't actually want to play the plane. and buy the plane. I wanted to focus on times fives and stuff. Um, but now that those specials are gone, I might pick it up and give it a shot. Um, no promises. I'll have to see. I do want to get that out. I just wanted to let you know that I haven't forgotten. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Leave comments down below, and I will catch you next time.